Let me paint a scene for you. It's 5,000 years ago. While Stonehenge was being built back in my home country, meteorites were falling from the sky here. About 110 years ago, in 1914, during World War I, a few German soldiers were here building some fortifications. And in this area, this wooden area of Morasko, they found meteorite fragments and large craters. So you can see here the largest found was 300 kilograms. There's a nice picture of it. And there's lots of crater areas here. Some of them, the largest, have built lakes. There's lots of little different fragments. So going back to 1914, the original piece was found, and even up until around 2006, and maybe 2012, some mad lad with a metal detector found a massive big chunk, about 70 kilos. But like I said, the largest piece is around 300 kilograms. So we're gonna have a little look through the forest area here, and we'll go and see some of the craters. Yeah, quite an interesting situation. Because usually meteorite sites like this date back much further than 5,000 years, so you don't necessarily find any pieces. But 5,000 years isn't that long in terms of course, space and time. Many of the sites in Europe, I think there's around 40 like known meteorite sites in Europe, and most of them they don't have any fragments left. But there's still fragments being found here, so we might find a nice chunk of iron. You never know. It was even on sale. You could buy a chunk of the meteorite. I'll put a link in the description, or I'll pop it up somewhere. I think it went for about 10,000 euros or dollars. You could buy a slice of it. Interestingly, this meteorite is a iron composite. So usually iron, nickel, those type of elements, as opposed to a stony one. So normally if it was a stony meteorite, that would have just vaporized in the atmosphere, turned to plasma and just exploded. Whereas because of the density of iron, and obviously being less brittle than just a stone and meteorite, it survived and landed. And we have impact craters all over the place. So we'll see if we can get the biggest one. But the biggest one is more like what they say, it's a lake, I think, 100 meters across in diameter. I think that's more of a pond than a lake. So we can see here, it's over 50 hectares in area, and it's now just become a nature reserve. So it's good for the animals. You can see the reservat. Oh, here we are now. Here's a site. So here's a crater. So asteroid, small rocky body orbiting the sun, usually irregularly shaped, from a few meters to a few hundred kilometers in diameter. Now obviously this was not a few hundred kilometers in diameter. It's unknown exactly how large it was, but we can see here the crater. Now the problem is depth and steepness don't tend to show very well on camera. But if I sort of pan around the area, you'll see you've got a flat path here, and then it dips down, and this is a crater. Now, you probably, if you were just walking through the forest, you wouldn't notice that. It looks like a dip in the landscape. So it wasn't until they found the chunks of iron several meters underneath those craters that they realised that this was a meteorite site back in 1914. But that's one of the smaller ones. This is also a really good little area for mountain biking through. You see people riding bikes and just going on walks with a dog. It's a nice little reserve. And luckily it stopped raining. Since I've been here 2 days now, it has not stopped raining. So I expected it to be like a swamp or a quagmire here, but it's actually not too bad. There's been lots of studies done here on the composition of the meteorites. I'll include links to some research papers. There was a very good one that came out of Estonia, but Adam Mickiewicz University, which is the local university here in Poznan, they've took samples and they've got some fragments and done a lot of interesting work on it. So I'll pop some links in the description if you're interested in looking at things in more detail. This is a very quick summary because it's only a short YouTube video. So here we are, ponds in meteorite craters. Żabka, 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 żabka. Żabka. Dobrze. And just some more information on asteroids, meteorites, the origins. Obviously you've got the asteroid belt. So we can see down here, this is it. Boom. This is a big old crater with a pond at the bottom. Again, like you wouldn't necessarily know because it's so grown in the area. I feel like usually when you think of an asteroid or a meteorite crater, you think of like in the desert, like that big one in Arizona. That's what comes to mind for me anyway. But that's because it's so desolate, it stands out, the crater. Just like on the moon, the craters stand out. But here, I wouldn't know. I would just think, oh, it's just natural formation of land. And there just happens to be a pond down there. But no, it is a meteorite impact crater. And there's probably more fragments that haven't been discovered down there. So around 300 plus kilograms of iron material have been found here. So it's not exactly known how large the original asteroid was. They believe about 10% will have made it to Earth from the initial impact with our atmosphere, as a lot of it will have just vaporized and broken off. And they think, again, possibly only 10%'s been found here. So 10% of the original and 10%, so they think maybe if they found everything and it's 300 kilos, it was probably around 3 tons, but really it might be 3 tons of iron material, meteorite material on the ground. So if there's 3 tons, it would probably be a 30-ton meteorite, and that would have lit up the sky when it came in. I think the big one might be over here. Yes, this is the one. Look at the size of that. That's a proper crater. The thing is, it'll be even deeper than it looks by several meters. It's just covered with a layer of, well, it's obviously filled with water and algae. Here we are. Okay, this is just telling us about the birds and the plants. Like I say, this is also a nature reserve, so it's really good for that. There's lots of different flowers and birds you can see here. And last time I was here, which was many years ago, there was loads of cool mushrooms. Like, there's mushrooms everywhere. Would have been a Polish person's dream because they love mushroom hunting. But like I say, I don't know how it's hunting because the mushrooms don't run away. I feel like it's more just mushroom foraging. So here we can see, it's a bit of an old graphic, but some of the sites around the world, and there actually isn't too many in Europe. You can really see the scale here. This goes all the way down. I might even, just for scale, I might pop you down somewhere or put you on a branch. I put you in this tree maybe. And then maybe you can just get a feel for how big the place is. That's all right, you can get back up. I don't want to get stuck now. So you can see it's pretty big. I'm not a short person, I'm not that tall either. So it's a pretty big crater. Here it is from the bottom. So you see, big expansive pond here, and of course, literally we're not even scratching the surface. So we can see up there there's some height, bit of a bank up there, but here it's pretty level. So this bit of land is on a slope already, and this impact crater must go quite deep. If we're just going to follow the sort of geometry of what we can see, the actual center point must be quite a few meters down. But we can't see it due to the water and of course the algae. But we've got some friendly ducks, but I haven't seen any żabkas yet. There's lots of impact craters here. A few of them are documented, but there's more that haven't been found yet, or that they've kind of been found but they haven't been added to the official documentation. So any crater you see could be part of an impact crater, because as this meteorite came in, it'll have just exploded and you'll have fragments hitting different areas. So it's over quite a large expanse of land. That's just the main one, which is pretty big. If you guys know of any other sort of interesting sites similar to this sort of thing, let us know in the comments. I'm here for a month in Poland, so if there's something a bit further afield, maybe on a weekend, I can jet out. And if you want to be in a video, you're welcome to message me on Instagram. It's the best way to get a hold of me, and I'd love to come and explore some more. These types of sites are super interesting for me, so the more the merrier. If you've enjoyed our little cosmic Polish adventure, perhaps you'll enjoy some more adventures in Poland. I've got things where I'm exploring markets, eating different foods, and just general exploration like this one here, and there'll be more to come. So if that's the type of thing that interests you, why not stick around and check out one of my other videos that'll be popping up on the page as I speak. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you on the next one.